In today's gaming news, the Star Wars Humble Bundle is here, Sony Online Entertainment gets a new name, and Darkest Dungeon enters early access. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is Force here with your day's gaming news. First up today, if you are a Star Wars fan, you should get pretty excited because you can get pretty much all of the Star Wars games for very, very cheap. The Star Wars Humble Bundle is here, allowing you to pay what you want for Knights of the Old Republic, Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, and Dark Forces. If you pay more than $12, you will also get Empire at War, The Force Unleashed, and Force Unleashed 2. And then lastly, if you pay above the average, which is currently around $12, you'll get Battlefront 2, Knights of the Old Republic 2, and Republic Commando. Now I'm just gonna be completely upfront with you guys. I actually have not played a single game on this list. I know, it's sacrilege, but I've heard really good things about lots of these, specifically The Force Unleashed and Knights of the Old Republic. I always hear people talking about those titles, so there has to be something here. In fact, those things alone tell me I should at least chip in the 12 bucks, get this entire list of games. That way, I at least have the option of playing them at some point in the future. And I'm sure I'm gonna get a ton of suggestions below as to which ones I should be playing first or whatever. And then also, of course, keep in mind with these Humble Bundles, the proceeds, a portion of the proceeds do go to charity. You get to decide how you wanna split it between charity and the developer as well as Humble Bundle. So be generous if you can. This is a lot of games and apparently a lot of good games for a low, low price. Next up, Sony Online Entertainment is no more, but not because they're shutting down, because they've been acquired and they're changing their name. Sony Online Entertainment was recently acquired by Columbus Nova and no longer has any Sony ties. Now the company's name will be changing to Daybreak Game Company, but CEO John Smedley promises that everything will remain the same. So they're still working on EverQuest Next. All of their current games are staying up. They'll continue to run. Station Cash is supposed to be getting rebranding, but that is still a thing. And then another benefit from this acquisition is the fact that they're going to be able to now publish titles on the Xbox platform. So Xbox One will be seeing stuff in addition to, you know, we're seeing, for example, PlanetSide 2 is coming to PS4. Maybe now this means we're going to see an Xbox One version of PlanetSide 2. So very interesting. You know, we'll have to wait and see in the coming weeks and months how things shake out. Usually when an acquisition happens, it does mean some negative things for the people who work at the company. Now, obviously, we assume the company is still going to stay up and running, but that doesn't mean people won't be losing their jobs. And if that happens, that will, of course, be unfortunate. But I think to the consumer, to the average gamer, hopefully nothing will change. But again, we'll have to just give this some time. And last up today, Darkest Dungeon has entered early access, and pretty much everyone is talking about it. Darkest Dungeon is a gothic, roguelike, turn-based RPG that promises to be quite a challenge. The game has a focus on the psychological stresses of adventuring as you recruit new heroes and send them out against unimaginable horrors, stress, famine, and disease. Everyone on the internet is talking about this, it seems, right now. It's being streamed by a ton of people. YouTube videos have started popping up. We're seeing post after post on forums and places like Reddit, and all of this combined with just the way the game looks has me very intrigued. I'm gonna spend some time this afternoon with this title. I might actually stream it myself, and then expect some YouTube videos from me within the next coming days. It's a dark, gritty, turn-based RPG. The art style is awesome. It's just very, very oppressive looking, like they want it to be. They want this to be partly a focus on the psychological stresses. It's available now via Steam's early access for $19.99 and plans to be in early access for roughly 6 months, during which time they'll be adding more dungeons, monsters, continuing the story, new items and stuff. So they do plan to fully flesh this out, but it does seem at the moment that it's an intact game. Like, everything there is to play it and enjoy it is there right now. So yeah, again, if you don't want to buy in yourself, wait for me to put up some videos, check out my streaming, whatever, or just look at what's already out there. But I am quite intrigued and I'm looking forward to jumping in. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's episode of The Feed. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to comment in the comment section below about any of the topics discussed here today. Are you going to pick up the Star Wars Humble Bundle? How do you feel about Sony Online Entertainment's acquisition and subsequent name change to Daybreak Game Company? I think they should just call themselves Gamebreak Studio. That sounds a hell of a lot better. And also, Darkest Dungeon, have you picked it up yet? Have you seen the coverage? What do you think of what you've seen so far? Let me know below. Thanks again for watching, guys. Hope you have a fantastic afternoon. Once again, this has been Force, and you have just been force-fed. Really, SOE Daybreak Game Company? Everyone knows you're a game company. You don't have to put it in the name of your game company. Studios is so much better sounding. Just call yourself Daybreak Studios. Unless there's already some place called Daybreak Studios, which could quite be the case because Daybreak is an awfully generic, like, yeah, we're at Daybreak, we're starting new, it's fresh and exciting, and